But we'll move to the defensive backfield. A player who I think is potentially going to be the sleeper of the class, Jayden Bellamy. I believe this is midseason tape. Corner or safety. Could think he could be a pretty good field safety, but he's also just kind of got an it factor to him where I think he could play corner or nickel. So Mike, tell us about Jayden Bellamy. I'm really intrigued to hear your thoughts.
Well, dude, I don't see it,
Okay.
and I think that you're like, well, he could be a sleeper or whatever, and I think some of that's probably due to your if you self-examination, like your your love for Angeli comes out of the same
Oh,
program.
dude,
I think there's I think
my
I think there's a
people,
little bit of that rubbing off on
my
Jaden.
my sources love this kid, and they know more football than
No,
I
I
do.
don't I don't like I put I mean he's a fine player, but and this is I hate to say it, but I feel like he might end up moving over to the offensive side of the ball because I just don't see like him as a super confident defensive player. He just seemed a little bit gun shy, and I might have been watching his junior year film, but I wasn't blown away. I said lack of burst is why he is a lower ranked recruit. He's not elite. He'll give some depth at offense and or defense. He just didn't seem. I said he doesn't seem like a super confident defensive back. It won't surprise me if he winds up on offense. So, and there's plays like where it's like, man, that should have been a knockout hit, and or that should have been an interception, and it's neither. And I'm just like, so he's a half a step sort of late in terms of his key, like right there. It's just like that's a fine play. It's a fine player. Don't be surprised if he winds up on offense. Is all I'm trying to say. But it's good to get back into Bergen Catholic and keep that. Hopefully, kind of establish a somewhat of a pipeline there. But just seemed a little bit hesitant and just not as confident in terms of his decision making and the way he arrives in the ball. Half a step late could have been a pick.
Oh, there's Angeli. There's my dude.
But like watch him as a receiver. I feel like he looks more comfortable to me as a receiver than he does as a DB.
He's a
Call me
good
crazy.
athlete. Yeah, no, I
He's a
like
good,
him at
yeah.
receiver too.
And then you take into like the numbers at the wide receiver position into account.
Okay.
Shoot, I mean, we've seen what they've done with Xavier Watts, moving him back and forth, back and forth. So, fine player. I don't think he's going to be a household name, but I do see him getting some run at offense potentially.
I do like him. I like that. He's got a twitchiness about him a little bit that I like him. Just around the football. I don't know.
I
We'll
just want I want certitude and decisiveness and like a little bit of like shit to a defensive back, and I just didn't kind of see. I see the athletic ability, but the lack of confidence in terms of like as a tackler and making plays in the ball, I just didn't quite see it.
okay. You will. We'll see. I don't know. I just that's maybe I should have had him as my Joe Waldo of the class. I went with Angeli just because he's my favorite. But if we're talking just pure sleeper, Bellamy's my guy. And
Okay.
if he does end up not panning out, damn it, it's Freeman's fault or somebody. It, so I'm kidding, sort of. All right, next up, Benjamin Morrison. Really like this kid. So Bellamy's dad played in the NFL, and so did Benjamin Morrison's dad. Both were defensive backs, and I'm just surprised to see their son. So I saw Morrison in person play this fall, and you'll see him at corner. You'll see him as a cover two safety. He's a smart, instinctual football player with some decent ball skills. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on Benjamin Morrison.
Who's the best as you're teeing this up, Mike? Who do you think is the best corner on Notre Dame's roster currently, and or has the best NFL potential at the cornerback position, current roster?
Oh boy. I
And if you can't answer, just say you can't answer
I,
it.
I that was a nice play right there. That's the game I was at. I guess Cam Hart for both.
Correct answer. The film's not up on my end, Mike.
Oh,
But
okay.
yes,
All right.
Cam
Sorry.
Hart
Let
is
me.
the answer. So Cam Hart's the answer, and Cam Hart folks is still learning the position. Came into ND as a wide receiver.
My bad, guys. Here, it's rolling now.
No, you're fine. Benjamin Morrison, my comp is Cam Hart. So the success that Cam Hart has had up to this point, and he's a draftable guy. Well, he will probably play in the NFL. A lot of that's just due to Cam's body type, the length, and have a drink if we're counting at home. I said body type, but Benjamin Morrison's like that's my comp. This is like a modern day Pete Carroll, long corner.
This is that play I was talking about. This is Kyler Casper, 2023 big time receiver, comes over and that cover 2 safety and picks off a nice little hole shot.
But yeah, can cover a lot of ground. He's definitely more of a field corner to me than a boundary corner.
Agreed. Yep.
I like him a lot. And again, it's just whether it's Aiden Gobaera at defensive end, Tyson Ford, Josh Burnham, Jalen Sneed, length, right? Recruit the body type, as much as you recruit the specific player. Very physical hitter, field corner.
Had a good knowledge of the game, right?
I'm sorry?
He just knows the game of football. It seems like another one of those kids who just seems like he
confidence,
gets it.
Mike. What you're talking about is confidence, yes or yes?
Yeah, that and, good bloodlines and coached up well from his dad.
Yeah, this kid's a good player. And it's really interesting too. So and we'll get into this. I think this was the film. Seems to play like a lot of cover 3 corner.
Yes,
where he's
that's
bailing
it, right.
quite a bit. But this is smart player. And you'll get into this with Jaden Mickey, who's I'm a big fan of. Whereas so we get to see him a little bit impressed. This should be good, just given his size. That's great. I can't believe, Mike, how good some of these high school players have become. It's remarkable, man, how good these kids are. So real nice play here.
Wow, I need to rewind that one for myself because he's coming. He's playing cover 2 here. Look at him
cover 2
bite on the flats.
Right? Nothing. And then he just continues to sink, make a play.
His linebacker helped him out too on that play by getting the running back. But yeah, he's good.
So yeah,
he's
and again, he's a very, 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 very willing tackler, and I think he has enough size and will continue to. I hope that it's interesting where it's like you see a lot of corners get recruited and they wind up at safety, and I don't know if that's like lazy development or lazy coaching or whatever, but I really feel like this kid's long. He's got great size. I feel like he has a legitimate shot to stick at corner. But you can see the feet, ball skills. You'd love to pick that ball.
Yeah.
Just saying. But yeah, really, really good.
Something cool, Mike. I'm going to show you something. Sure. This guy, I don't know if you can see my cursor on the screen. That was me right there filming this game from the. This is the one I was at.
I thought I saw you up there. I thought I saw that goatee up there.
There he is. So, but no, it was a really good game. The Casper kid caught 2 touchdowns on fades in the goal line against Morrison. I mean, obviously those aren't going to show up here, but it was a fun battle between those 2 high level players.
So this is again, I put. Long strider, and I think that he's got really good top end long speed. So just again coming up physically in the run game. Whereas the next kid that we'll talk about, presumably Jaden Mickey, is definitely more of a boundary corner, quicker than fast. But I think that this kid, when we talk about covering the Alabama receivers of the world, he's got a shot just because he does have a long stride and really good top end speed.
Okay. All right. Well, you mentioned Mickey, so let's go ahead and watch him after this last play here of Mr. Morrison.
Got to score.
So Mickey, you mentioned as a that was a nice tackle there in the red zone. You mentioned you like him at the boundary. That's interesting. He's I don't think body type wise he's your typical boundary. At about 5'11", 175 pounds. I believe this first place him on a kickoff return. But,
Well, how do you see that, Mike? Do you see your field corner as a bigger guy or a smaller guy?
Field corner. As yeah,
Or,
I mean, I think
same question,
I
boundary
would
corner. Do you see
answer
a
it, yeah, as
boundary corner as a big guy or
boundary to match up against the bigger receivers, right? I mean, they're going to throw Kevin Austin in the boundary, so that kind of bigger receiver. That's where I'd want my bigger corner.
I go more off of traits than I do, I guess, the body type, and that like so like go run this back, Mike.
That last
So
play.
like Mickey, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, Mickey, Jaden Mickey is I wrote this down as I'm watching his film. He's quick as shit. Like he is quick. You'll see it. But like watch the top end speed here on a kick return. Like the knee drive starts to fall off. I don't think he's as fast as he needs to be to play field corner. So like I look at traits, whereas I feel like Benjamin can run with people to the field, um, but I do feel like Mickey's a little bit quicker in terms
I
of
like
like
him in
his
the.
ability to
I feel
play.
like I like him more in nickel.
You could be a nickel, yeah. So I mean, I grew up. I mean, I grew up like the first boundary and field corner that I ever like sort of had the experience of understanding and dealing with was Shane Walton and Vontez Duff, who Notre Dame fans remember. We had that great defense in 2002. Vontez Duff was a legit 4.34 40 guy, and he played field corner. And Shane Walton was probably like a 4.7 40 guy, but just had tremendous feet, really smart player, his hands on a ton of balls. And that's more like what I see with Mickey.
Sorry, I'm a child. Continue, Mike.
Yeah. Well, got his hands on a lot of passes.
Sorry.
I remember my first beer, Mike. So I'm a big fan of once we get past this return stuff. And this is another note I wrote. Second note that I put a star. Finally, a punt returner that's not a walk on.
All right, we
So
do have to find some.
yeah, I think this might be the last one.
Okay. All
This
right.
kid's a playmaker, dude. I'm telling you, man, he is a playmaker. I'm a fan of his. Right? You see that? Like hands.
I love him. But like, doesn't he just look small out there? Like
That's
you're gonna.
fine.
Okay.
That's yeah, but I mean, so if he's 5'10", I mean, what do you know? There's but what I want you to focus on. That's kind of a giveaway. The short area quickness. There's a couple plays where he comes up, where he's sort of drifting in coverage, and he comes up to make a play on a ball, and it's
This,
like
by the way,
lightning.
is him against C.J. Williams, who was committed to Notre Dame for a while, then flipped to USC.
I don't
Or
think we'll miss him, by the
he
way.
hasn't flipped to USC officially, but it's what we think at least. Makes a good play.
Makes a good play. I wasn't. I think C.J. Williams is propped up. So watch the quickness here. That's not the play I'm talking about. But I think C.J. Williams propped up by recruiting wise, rankings wise, playing for Mater Dei, the number one program in the country. But I'm a big fan of Mickey. I just am. I think he's a competitive dude. Really understands the game. When we get into like the kind of the meat of his cover, like right there. Go back, Mike. Play that play again.
Got it. This one right
This
here.
is quick. I mean, this is quick. Like this is very quick. Watch this. Bam.
Yeah.
Like that's understanding the game. You'll see sometimes when he's in coverage, he's reading through 3-2-1, like he's got his eyes on the quarterback. Bam, right? I really like this kid, whether he's a little bit undersized or not. Keep going. There's one play in here where he
Yeah, I mean, if he's 6'1", I think he's a 5-star. I really do.
just
He had a
really well, really like this is the play. Bam, like he just, he sees it. People are gonna make fun of me. I keep saying bam, but there's a play in this film where it's 3rd and 3, and he lets his guy go,
look at
and
that.
he breaks on 2 because he understands down a distance, and like he's just a playmaker to me. Big fan of him, just because with the quickness and the awareness and the
That was the targeting call. That looked like a good hit to me. I remember when that happened. But
so yeah, I really like this kid. Lightning quick, exceptional ball skills in terms of like completing the catch and coming down with an actual interception versus a knockdown. This is him understanding leverage. forcing a ball back inside. Where is that play?
Yeah, we got about a
Yeah, anyways.
minute left of film.
So
We'll get to it.
that might have been it. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
going to be. I think he'll be a nice player because again, we want to create. This is the one,
Wow. What coverage is
right? So
that?
go back. So go back. So I watched that clip 3 times. I'm not sure of the coverage. I think it's cover three. So pause it. I think it's cover three because the
He's
corner
he's
closest to us is sinking.
he's
But we'll look
leaving
at
his man already. The ball just was snapped.
because look at the down and distance. Look at the markers. It's 3rd and 3.
Yeah.
So watch this. 3rd and 3. I'm gonna go make a freaking play. I love it. Oh man, look at this. It's a playmaker.
Yeah, he had this safety help over here so he could
But
kind
that
of
could be film study. I mean, just stuff like that at the high school level, Mike, is really rare. So I like both. I like both of these corners, and we'll see about Bellamy. Uh, but Morrison's a field corner. Like I said, we talked about. You asked me about the defensive class. It feels like we've got somebody for each little role. You've got a boundary corner, in my estimation. You got a field corner. You got a Mike. You got a Will. You got a Rover.
no
You got a three
safety.
technique. You got a defensive end. You got
No
no
safety.
safety.
Devin Moore would have been very nice to have in this class because I don't know if you've seen his tape, Mike. Decommitted from Notre Dame
I have
after the
not,
Kelly
no.
news. He was 6'3", next coming to Kyle Hamilton, I swear. But so that was a huge loss. But all right, we're over an hour, Mike. Any closing thoughts on this 2022 class as we wrap this thing up?
No. We
But
want
you're
to.
about to say
I want
something.
to. I want to. I want to. I want to. I want a stud. I want a stud quarterback, and we want talent at the edges. Um, who's the receiver, Mike? Our one
Merriweather.
receiver we signed,
Merriweather.
Merriweather. I really like Merriweather, so I'm happy. We want numbers, and I'm really happy with our corners talent that we've signed on the edges in particular. And just yeah, closing thoughts is like kudos to you, dude, because I know you've worked your ass off the last couple weeks, and I think that Blue and Gold Nation certainly takes you for granted. I don't, so I just wanted to tip my hat to you, buddy.
All right. Well, I appreciate it.